Hello, movie lovers! Bob for Bob's movie review here, and today I'd like to review for you a movie I just watched called Scream 6. Now, this movie takes place a year or so, I believe, after 5, which makes sense because it's been a year or so since 5, so the similar amount of time has passed. Now, our main characters have moved out of Woodsboro and moved to New York City. Some of them are in college, and the older sister is just kind of watching over her younger sister. And it's been a pretty quiet year, I think, other than the fact that the entire nation has turned on the older sister. And forgive me, I don't remember their names, but the older sister, people believe she is the killer from the 5th movie for some reason. I'm not sure why. I guess because of her father, maybe. Basically, she's having a really tough time adjusting. So everyone's in New York City, and we are opened almost immediately to a killing. This woman is meeting somebody for a date, obviously an online kind of meeting, and the guy is like, "Can't find you. I don't know where you are." And somehow she equates this to running down an alley. It didn't make a lot of sense, but okay, and she gets killed, okay. And the guy basically shows himself right away. My girlfriend was like, "Well, why are they showing the killer so fast?" And I was like, "Well, I think this is probably going to be maybe like a copycat or something, not the actual killer of the movie." And that's what it ends up being. And we follow this new cast, and maybe it's just the old man in me, but I don't know who any of these people are. I don't find their characters to be that interesting. Of course, I'm more into the original cast, but I've seen those movies so many times. I know who those actors are. They are the original, and it makes sense that 6 movies down the line, you're not as invested in the cast. But I feel like using a large portion of the Scream 5 cast in Scream 6, they're really trying to get you to kind of care about these and be the new characters of the series and kind of take over for the old characters. But I don't know. Do people feel that way? I know I don't, but okay. But okay. And another thing, releasing a movie so shortly after the 5th one seems like something Scream has made fun of throughout its entire run of these just kind of mass-produced horror movies that never seem to end. And I feel like they're getting into that territory now. So the real killer ends up killing the earlier killer and is now after pretty much the original character. Sydney does not make a appearance in this one. She is mentioned, but she doesn't make an appearance. The only original character who does make an appearance is Gale Weathers. Up to the same old stuff. She wrote a book about what happened in 5, and now the characters hate her, but she still's coming back, and then she convinces them that she's not out to write a book, and she's just there to help, like she's done in, I believe, every other movie, or just about every movie. And so I was just like, okay, I mean, we've done this before. Okay, they'll fall for it. They're stupid. So she comes and helps a little bit, and the killer basically is coming after the group and maybe some of the new people, and they talk about the horror movie rules. It's like, okay, we've done this before. It feels like they're redoing a lot of the same stuff. And of course, now they're calling it a franchise. Before it was a requel, and now it's a franchise. And it's like, okay, well, I think it's been a franchise for a while, but okay, it's a franchise. And so there is this really interesting idea that somehow the killer is connecting all the previous killers together and counting down backwards, which I don't know why. I didn't really get that part, but I thought it was an interesting idea at least. And they did have this really interesting movie theater that had props and different things from the previous killings. It seems a little odd. They're like, well, evidence gets lost all the time, but it's like every weapon and mask and like all this stuff. I was like, I don't know, that stuff didn't get lost. it's an entire theater full of stuff. And so, of course, they're trying to speculate who the killer could be, and you don't know if you can trust your friends, or you don't know if you could trust Gale, or you don't know who to trust. And they end up on the subway, and I love the subway scene. It was really great. Of course, they get split up, and the lights are like blinking on and off as they're going through the subway. It's really cool. There's some really good misdirection as well in the subway. And eventually, we have a face-off with many of the core cast. Now, we did also get a surprise return of a previous character, not from the original cast, which I thought was a kind of a cool idea to bring back somebody from one of the other movies, and I won't give it away. And eventually, you know, of course, have the face-off with the killer, many similar things that they've done in other movies, and they even kind of reference back to other movies as well. And then the killer is revealed, and I thought it was so boring, so boring. It's already been done. It wasn't that interesting or inspiring. I honestly thought it was going to kind of link back to the original movie and somehow be involved, but really it didn't. And maybe that's part of trying to build on a new cast and a new franchise, and they don't want to go back, you know, that far to the original cast stories. But it just, I don't know. I did not care for the killer at all in this one. So I am pretty surprised to see the review scores on this one actually beating the previous Scream movie on Letterboxd. And to me, I enjoyed that one. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a neat idea. To me, I feel like this one is a lot less original. They leave Woodsboro, okay. You know, is that good or bad? I don't know. I like the New York setting. I like some of the kind of meta stuff they threw into it. But I just don't feel like the movie's super original, and I don't feel like a lot of the ideas are super original. And I think overall, this is probably going to be one of my more lower-ranked Scream movies. Well, I did enjoy it. I just didn't feel like it really was that exciting to me. It didn't add a lot of new stuff, and they tried so hard again to go back to being meta, referencing the first movie almost immediately into the movie, you know, bringing up stuff from the previous films. I just don't feel like they're as smart as they used to be, and it's just kind of they're retreading what they've already done. So on a score for this one, I'm going to 3 out of 5. I did enjoy it, but I just feel like it's not original enough. It wasn't exciting enough. The killer, I just could not really... I could not get behind the killer at all. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one down in the description below. If you haven't already, subscribe for more videos, check the videos, and I will see you guys next time.